realness.
All right, Fatty, you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Theo, you there?
I'm here. Introducing authentic realness.
Hello again. Welcome everyone to yet another episode of our Authentic Realness podcast. And tonight, I feel restricted because Theo has forced me to be in one place, which I don't know if you all have noticed this or not. In most episodes, I've been walking around my loft in the whole presentation of these episodes. But tonight I was inspired by Mike Goodwin and the clarity of what I got from his session, where Mike talked about himself as a comedian, as well as all the other things that he does and how his journey happened. If you haven't listened to that episode, I would implore you to do so, because certainly it was a solid one. But what Mike inspired me for is to get the same microphone as him. And this is a scary place for you all, because I myself hear the clarity of my voice that Jermaine Britton shared with me years ago. And it's going to be interesting to see if I'm able to sit in the spot, talk into this microphone, have my thoughts to flow in the way that I need them to flow. But we're going to check this out. We're going to see what God is going to do. I'm going to trust him, Theo, that this is going to go well, sir. So welcome back. How are things on your end, my friend?
Man, things are amazing. I cannot complain, and I will not complain. I'm just grateful for another year. My birthday has just passed. I'm just
Look at that. Happy birthday, brother. Look at you.
Man, appreciate it. I appreciate it. And, you know, I'm just grateful. I'm in a season of gratitude. You know, within the last 3 to 4 years, we've had a lot of people just unexpectedly to die. Of course, death is a part of life, but
sure, you
know, with COVID and the things of that nature, it's just been it seems like it sped things up, and the days are shorter these days. But I don't know, you know, when you get older, they always say the days are shorter and time goes by fast.
Sure.
But, you know, I'm just in a season of gratitude. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to see the age that I am now, because a lot of my classmates are not here with us. So I'm just grateful.
Well, let's be grateful for the fact that you just have seen it yourself, and not that your classmates did.
Most definitely.
Like, I'm always one to kind of bring that to people's attention. Like, people talk about, well, it could have been me. Well, it wasn't. But let's thank God for your situation. But let's also pray for those people who are in those situations that they may potentially not want to be in. Even there was a Kirk Franklin song, and I still love the song. It could have been me. But if you think about that from a holistic, godly perspective, and certainly I know what he meant, but we've talked about that so often. It's not about what we meant. It's about the reality of it. And the whole concept of could have been me, as to we're praying, God, that, well, thank you for my situation, because that could have been me. Well, as Christians, we got to be praying for our own situation, but we also got to be praying for those people who are in that situation, for those people who potentially are homeless, for those people who may be without a job, for those people who might have been impacted by COVID, for those people who are significantly ill. Whatever the case might be, we just want to make sure that we always keep our theology, Theo, look at that, theology, Theo, clear on how we go about thinking about things. So just something for your consideration. Good stuff, brother. Well, like I said, I really do. I'm happy to hear that you're in a place of gratefulness. Happy to hear that God has blessed you with yet another year. Happy that you were able to celebrate the birthday, and certainly praying for many, many, many more for you, and for us to be able to do more amazing things with this podcast.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Well, good stuff. Well, let's jump in. Let's jump right in, to be exact. See, this whole being in one place is already impacting. I don't even know my catchphrase. Let's jump right in. Look at that. This is going to be a journey. But I do like, again, the way that my voice sounds in this microphone. So you all bear with me. I'm kind of having a moment with my own voice. But tonight we're going to talk about a spirit of excellence. And I'm in a very interesting place of life that I know for certain that is one that's ordained by God. And what I have found with me, and this is holistically, this is me, and there's that amazing reminder there. So, hey, bear with me, people. But I am certain that for me, it's so important for me to do all things well. Walking to the store. I'm on this podcast. I'm working as a consultant. Whatever I'm doing, it's always my yearning and desire to do it with a spirit of excellence. Because I'm of the mindset that every moment that God gives me here on his green earth, it's an opportunity for me to spread light. It's an opportunity for me to display to others the significance and the importance of just doing things well, being thankful and grateful, as you alluded to, Theo, for every moment, because I am certain that the present is indeed a gift from God. And in this particular phase of life, I am in a place of awareness, in a place of understanding with certainty that unfortunately society has somehow, some way tricked us. And I'm going to go specifically to settings of work, that being all over the place, that working long hours, that chasing your tail, that whatever the new item is that comes up, it takes priority. Let me deal with this right now and have no regard to the other things that I've been working on that might very well be more important. Somehow we've been tricked that is what equates to success. Well, let me be crystal clear. That's called failure. That is called you have no ability to control the work. That means that you literally are chasing your tail. You're on the treadmill, running hard, running fast, going nowhere. There's an answer. It's called strategy. It's called discipline. It's called controlling the work, not the work controlling you. That's where success lies. And for me as a consultant, I can say with certainty, I do that exceptionally well. And I'm unapologetic about doing that successfully well. Here's why I do that well, because I work hard. But I work hard from a vantage point of working smart. That's where success lies. No one cares about you having a bunch that you're doing. Nobody cares that, I have so much I'm doing. I'm so busy. I have so many. Nobody cares. We all do. The question is, how are you managing your day, your week, your month, your year, for you to find a level of work-life harmony? Notice I didn't say balance. Because work-life balance for me, it's a lie. It goes in that whole fake phony category. It's just not going to happen. But when you find your harmony, you're able to find a rhythm. You're able to find that, hey, although there are those times that I work really long hours, I'm able to balance that off from a harmony perspective where there might be some lighter weeks. And you look at it holistically from the vantage point of, because I have a strategy. I have ways of work. When this happens, this is how I respond. It's called prioritization. It's called, here are the 30 things that I know that I have to get done this week. And here's the news flash for you. If you go into the week knowing there are 30 things that you have to do, there's likely another 30 that you don't even have on your list yet. Those of us who are going to be successful is that we acknowledge the unknown, that we build into our schedule the opportunity to know that there are going to be things that are going to happen within my week that I have no idea about. But it's called building that buffer, that cushion to be able to absorb those things when they come. Notice the question in this is not if. The answer in this is when these things occur, that was not built into my schedule for the week, this is how I'm going to respond. I'm also going to be able to very quickly prioritize that. Hey, although this just happened, does it require a response right now? And I'll tell you in very certain terms, the answer is typically no. The other thing is stop being so overly zealous to be able to provide people that, oh, I got to do this right now. Oh, it's so-and-so. I got to meet with them. No, you don't. Because here's the thing. If so-and-so is so important as they indicate that they are, then they can't meet with you immediately either. Why? Because they got a schedule. We all are human. We all are realistic. If you are transparent, you share with someone, hey, this is what I have going on. Guess what they're going to say? Okay. Guess why they're going to say, okay, Theo?
Why?
Because they too have a schedule.
That's it.
Because they too have things going on. As a matter of fact, here's the news flash, and here's that hard moment for somebody. You're going to gain more respect by being transparent and saying to the person, hey, let's meet Friday at this time. And here's why. It'll give you and me both the opportunity to really think through this. It'll provide us an opportunity to potentially have some exchanges via text or email, etc., where we can already kind of be preparing what our thoughts are. And when we get to Friday, we now have a session where we might be able to resolve it. But if we immediately just stop everything we're doing, we have to meet right now, we have to address this right now. And certainly there are things called emergencies. And there will be those times, to be crystal clear, that you may have to do that. But when that is your norm, you're in trouble. You are already fulfilling a self-fulfilling prophecy of failure. You're chasing your tail. You're on the treadmill running hard, running fast, and you're going absolutely positively nowhere. The other component to that is it's not sustainable. In no way, shape, form, or fashion is it. So I'm here tonight to present to all of us what works. Strategy, discipline, controlling your schedule. With a buffer, with an understanding, in very certain terms, that I am planning for the unexpected that will come so that I can address it. So me as a consultant, this is how I work with all of my clients. I take on a new client. First thing that we do is go through that consultation. We define in very certain terms what it is that the client's looking for me to do. I work with the client to identify what their part is. We come to an agreement. We move forward. In the moving forward process, though, what we always do, newsflash for those that may not have known this is called Project Program Management 101. Provide yourself with more time than you need so that when you do get it done early, we still are good. This whole foolish mindset of, oh, we need to rush and do it because it makes me feel better and it makes us feel like we're getting it done. Foolish. Because what you're doing is you're setting yourself up to run hard, run fast, go nowhere, fail at the date, and you're still having to go with what that original date should have been from the start. It's foolish. It's a cycle of not using those simple things that God has given us, which is called logic, which is called experience, which is called, when do I learn? For me, I have learned that that's lesson number one. Always provide self more time than needed. If we deliver early, we all are good. That allows us the opportunity to move on to other things. The other thing that I've identified when it comes to overall discipline, it's non-negotiable. If we have meetings that start at X time, be on for the meeting. Be on before or at the time. If you're not going to be on, say that. Things come up. We're all going to be in situations where we're late. Say it. Hey, I'm going to be running a little late. You all go ahead and get started without me. Or, my God, what a novel thought. I know I have a conflict. Why not reschedule? Why not be in a place where you're respectful not only of the other people's time, but of your own. But it comes from being in a place where you understand with certainty what it is that your role is and what you're doing. Thank God that I know mine. I've mastered this art and I'm sharing it with the world. The last component that I want to address for tonight, in very certain terms, when it comes to this whole process of a spirit of excellence, and in recapping, that first component was in very certain terms that we have to be in a place of understanding that we're looking at it from a place of strategy. What is our plan? What is our game plan? What are we doing? What is the outcome that we're seeking? How do we get there? The second component is that component of discipline. And that's in very certain terms, that we are doing what we say we're going to do when we say we're going to do it. If not, we're going to fall on our sword. We're going to call it out. We're going to say we've ran into an issue, and we're going to get it done when we say that we're going to get it done from a modified place. And then lastly, we're going to control our work. The work is not going to control us. We will no longer be in a place where we're chasing our tail. Although the volume may be high, although the volume may be unexpected, it's still manageable. But it's manageable because of your mindset. How many times have we talked about mindset, Theo?
Too many times.
It's almost as if it's a broken record.
It sure is.
But here's why. Because it impacts every component of our life. The way that we see a thing, the way that we view a thing, a way that we think about a thing makes a difference. So when we have the right mindset, a mindset of success, success comes. A mindset of uncertainty, uncertainty comes. A mindset of failure. Failure comes. Yeah, that's something I need to get off of my chest. And in very certain terms. Now, here's the good part of this. So we all know, or if we don't know, we know now. I absolutely love Janet Jackson. And so many people don't necessarily ever really get it as, what is it with Plush and Janet? What is the deal? Well, the biggest thing is it's Janet as a professional and as a perfectionist on the stage. So I've been fortunate enough to see Janet's current show 3 times. And this is her current tour, which she's calling the Together Again tour, which certainly has a loaded name, if you will, or her song Together Again, which she has so many different versions of the song, like the song from the actual original album is a fast, high speed, high pace song. Yet there's a slow remix, there's a mid-tempo remix, and it's all the same song. So it was such genius by her and her team to be able to have that particular song to go throughout the tour or the concert or the show, whatever you want to call it. And I believe, Theo, she does it 3 times. Like she does
it 3 times.
Yeah, she does the mid-tempo, she does the slow, and then she does the regular version. And for those of us that understand where we are, we're in 2023. And there's a time, which seems like such a long time ago, but we weren't able to be together again. We weren't able to be together at all. And from a touring perspective, you just think about how that's just such amazing to have that name, that it could be both literal and figurative. Now, what does that have to do with me as a consultant? Like, Plush, we don't care that much about your personal life. And I don't share a whole lot about it either. However, to see this woman on the stage, it's amazing. Like, you see all of the things that I just described. You see the strategy. You see the discipline. You see the controlling of her work. And you see that this woman who is 56 years of age, where like, oh my God, she has to be a has-been. Oh my God, like, how is she still performing? Well, she doesn't skip a beat. Over an hour and a half show, singing, dancing. And you would think, in our terms, that she'd be in her 20s. That's the age of her dancers. One of our frat brothers mentioned last night, one of our frat brothers mentioned last night, Theo, that hey, she was out dancing her dancers.
She definitely was easy, and she wasn't winded.
Exactly. How does that happen? But that comes from those things that I just talked about. So I use Janet as an example because for me, she's the epitome on the entertainment side of how you really build a career around your bread and butter. And her bread and butter is the live stage. She understands that. So no mistake about it. I don't care if you don't like her music. I don't care if you don't like her voice. I don't care what you don't like. What you cannot and will not deny is her stage presence. It's unmatched.
It is.
And currently, anybody want to debate with me? We're not going to have it. She is the greatest living live performer right now. Hands down. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Now, certainly the greats, Mike, Prince, Whitney, all those folks, they're not here.
Speaking of Janet, I feel like her show should have been called Options.
Tell me more.
Because, we had a brief conversation, but the thing that's really dope is, a lot of times when artists go and do a tour or do a concert, it's to promote an album that just came out.
Sure.
When it comes to artists who have been out for years, or legacy artists, quote unquote, as they are sometimes called, they are just performing their hits.
Sure.
But the thing about Janet is she's going to go deep in her bag and remind you, I'm her.
Yeah. The deep cuts are real.
Repeatedly.
Yeah, the deep cuts are real.
It's like you realize, oh, this is a B-side, but it slaps just as much as the singles.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then once you get the B-sides, it's like, oh, don't forget the singles are coming too.
Well.
So you're going to leave full.
Yeah.
And it puts you in a place of, I need to go experience that again. And you really, it sets a bar that I feel won't be touched for a while.
Yeah. So let's connect this back to consulting, though, Theo.
Mm-hmm.
For me, that's where I am. I don't play around when it comes to me as a consultant. Mm-hmm. and it's one of those ones where I need for people to understand. I don't need validation.
Nope.
I know what I do, and I know I do it exceptionally well. And it's non-negotiable. It's not a debate. It's not a discussion. This is what I'm here for. And that comes from a place of certainty. It's a fact. And it's a fact because I put in the work, because I do what I do with the spirit of excellence. And it's not about me working a bunch of long hours.
Mm-hmm.
Because long hours don't equate to success. Strategy does.
Yep.
Outcomes do.
It literally, the thing that keeps repeating in my head is something that we quoted in college, and is piss poor preparation promotes piss poor performance.
Absolutely.
And then it goes back to the whole timing piece that you were alluding to earlier. To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late.
Absolutely.
It's never. And just thinking about those two pieces to that poem, it's like your timing and your execution is everything. If you're not prepared, if you don't take the time to prepare, those long hours are going to come, and it's on you.
You can't be all over the place.
Nope.
You can't be going to the meeting still working on the deck. What? Did you not know that the meeting was today? Did you not know last week? What are we doing? Why are we still editing the deck on the way to present to the client? Is this a joke? This has to be. Somebody has to be kidding me. And if anybody who thinks that's okay, and like, oh, this is the way that we work. Well, the way you work is failing and will continue to fail until you decide that you are going to make a transition in what you're doing. It's just that simple.
That's it.
Nothing more, nothing less. All over the place, literally It's just something that I'll never do. Just can't do it. Doesn't make sense. Because there are too many opportunities for you to be buttoned up, for you to be polished, for you to have your ish together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not faking it till you make it. It's doing it. It's being exactly who you say you are, doing it from a place in spirit of excellence, and being unapologetic that, hey, I do things well.
That's it.
It's almost as if, I have to apologize because I do well. It's that whole clarifier of, and I'm not saying this from a place of arrogance or conceit or anything. I've stopped even saying that. I just say what I'm going to say. I know with certainty that I am great as a consultant. Period.
And the track record don't lie.
And the track record does not lie. To recap, strategy, discipline, controlling the work not controlling you is where success comes from. It's where success lives. Doing things with the spirit of excellence. I don't care what it is. Walking to the store. Walk to the store with the spirit of excellence. Being all over the place? Absolutely not. Working long hours, doing what I have to do does not equate to success. It really equates to being foolish. My comparison to Janet Jackson and the live stage, the hard work it shows, the commitment it shows, the discipline it shows, the strategy it shows. Any concluding thoughts, Theo?
It's really pivotal that you do the work. That phrase has been spoken on so many episodes at this point, but it's something that you have to drill in your mind and remind yourself, I have to do the work. When it comes to business, when it comes to anything, when it comes to life, you have to prepare.
Absolutely.
If you're constantly like Plush alluded to, if you are waiting to the meeting to complete the deck, or you're sitting there while your partner's doing their part and you're sitting there fumbling trying to get you're ready, you need to go back to your desk and get it together, because it shows that you have a lack of preparation. And if you have a lack of preparation, people will not take you seriously.
Absolutely.
And we live in a world where now is either you going to perform level, or you're going to get left behind. And it is funny because a lot of people, you see people are stay in the office over hours, and it appears that they're just working. They're trying to get no. You're straggling. If you focus on your time management and you prep better, you're 8 to 5. You get it done, and you out the. To be honest, you can get it done by 3 o'clock if you know what you're doing. But if you're not doing the work, that's what you get. So it's all about perspective, but you got to do the work. Got to do the work.
What you're reminding me of, Theo, is a quote that I often go to for my own personal journey. And it's one that speaks to the fact that excellence is a habit, not a single act. Because too often we'd like to believe that, because I'm working the long hours. Because everybody knows that I'm a hard worker, then that means that I'm doing this with the spirit of excellence. No, it really doesn't. If you are capable of responding to every email I send you immediately, I already have a problem. Because what are you doing? like there had to be some stuff you're working, because if you can respond to every email I send immediately, what are you doing? If you aren't giving any thought to your response, what are you doing? If you are planning for today, what are you doing? What were you doing last week? What were you doing yesterday? You should already have a plan and strategy for today. I don't know if I'm coming or going.
That don't sound good.
That's not good. Let's be more definitive. That's not good. And it's not good because it's one of those situations where, as I've said before, you're chasing your tail. We're going to end this on a high note. And that high note is, I implore all of us to do all that we do from a place of excellence and understand that a spirit of excellence is not something that you have to be ashamed to buy. Just because everybody else decides to be mediocre, just because everybody else decides to be subpar, just because everybody else decides to be basic, just because everybody else decides to be ordinary, that does not have to be your story. If you have to be that one person that is doing the things that you're doing with the spirit of excellence, well, I am here to be your number one fan, to push you forward, to encourage you, to implore you, and to support you. Those are the clients that I'm looking for. Those clients that are looking to be a step ahead. Those clients that are looking to be the best of the best. Those clients that are looking to be world class. Those clients who understand that strategy, hard work, discipline, and controlling the work is where success lives. With that, Theo, I definitely want to acknowledge that with this podcast, Buzzsprout has just been amazing in my journey. They have provided me with the opportunity to be able to have our podcast on so many different platforms. And I certainly would encourage anyone who's thinking about going on this podcast journey to truly consider Buzzsprout as being the platform that they use, because it's certainly been beyond paramount for us. And then in closing, I want to look to the Lord. Heavenly Father, God, we come before you right now, just thanking you, God, for who you are. God, we thank you for such a powerful episode tonight. One, God, that we've been able to reemphasize, reiterate the concept of a spirit of excellence. That in all things, it is our desire to do things well, to do things in decency and in order, to be in a place, God, where we acknowledge you in all that we do. And with that, that's why we yearn for excellence. God, I'd ask you to continue to cover everyone that's listening to this particular episode tonight, God, that it might bless them all in a significant way. God, I'd ask that you would allow Theo and I to go back and listen to this episode as well, so that we too may be in a place where we allow this to strengthen, grow, develop us. God, as Fabi is away, I'd ask that you continue to cover her, protect her, be with her and her family. And God, then just everyone who's ever been a part of this podcast, I'd ask that you touch all of them right now, that you would touch their businesses, that you would touch all the things that they're doing, that they might know that a spirit of excellence is where success lies, and that this is where success lives, and that they might be completely encouraged tonight, God, from a place of hope, encouragement, and motivation, that they might keep on keeping on and keep pushing forward. God, I'd ask that you would cover and bless the world, because certainly we have so many dark, ugly, and dangerous things that are still yet going on in the world. But God, we know that you still are the light of the world. And we would ask, God, that you would continue to allow us to be beacons of that light, that this episode might be one that will set someone free, that someone who might have been in a place where they've been afraid to operate in that spirit of excellence for just wanting to fit in, that they might be bold enough, God, that after this episode, that they now will be in a place of greatness, of spirit of excellence, of moving forward. So God, we love you, we adore you, and it's in the glorious and magnificent name of your son, Jesus, that we pray. Amen.
Amen.
And as always, and I just get so excited about this particular part of the episode as well, Theo, where I'm able to thank our listeners and audience, because it is growing. I see you all out there listening and sending me comments. I certainly would implore my personal friends to stop sending me the message and to send them out publicly. Like, it's okay. Go ahead and put it on LinkedIn or Facebook or any of the other platforms that we're on. Send me comments via the website. But I really want you all to know that the greatest part of this Authentic Realness Podcast, ARP, is each and every one of you. And yes, my phone is blowing up tonight. I got a lot going on because we're recording later than usual. So you all excuse me and all of my reminders and alarms, but know that this is the life that I live. And this is what allows me to do those things that we talked about tonight. My alarms are a part of my strategy, of my discipline, and of me controlling the work. The alarms help me to be able to do that. And until next time, let us all make it spectacular together.
Realness.